a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of every local CNC News page. Today it is showing one last wave of rain crossing upstate New York for Friday. Whichever direction you're going, you're driving through it. The National Weather Service has canceled flood warnings for Owatka Creek at Garbett and for Black Creek at Churchville. A flood watch remains in effect through the day for all the Rochester area counties. Thursday, we did get some ice, less than we'd feared, but more than we'd hoped. And despite the rain and the chill, there are indeed signs. A Buffalo area man whose guns were seized by state police got his pistol permit back Thursday after troopers admitted they made a mistake in trying to apply the new New York SAFE Act. State police and the Erie County Clerk's office are now disagreeing over who flagged the wrong gun owner as a mental health risk, and Republican State Assemblyman Bill Rylick of Greece is calling this a dangerous precedent that supporters of the gun law promised wouldn't happen. A judge gave college librarian David A. Lewis of Amherst his permit back, and police are returning his 7 guns. According to the Buffalo News, state police had a completely different David A. Lewis in mind, another Western New York man who raised concerns because he reportedly owned guns and had been diagnosed with a mental illness. Police passed what they knew to the clerk's office, which they say the law requires them to do. Somehow the county clerk's office got the wrong man's gun permit and notified a state Supreme Court justice, who in turn suspended the librarian's permit and ordered him to hand his guns over to state police, which he did last week. State police only realized their mistake Wednesday. They say the Erie County clerk should have investigated their tip first. Clerk Christopher Jacobs says what police gave him was an actual copy of the wrong man's permit, and that's what he acted on. And for sure this will do nothing to settle the controversy over the NY SAFE Act. The state of New York is having more than 360 new charging stations for electric cars and delivery trucks installed statewide. This is a public one put in last year at the Penfield Town Hall. Not sure how you pay at one of these things, but at any rate, the governor's office wants to have a network of 3,000 public and company charging stations like this one set up over the next 5 years for electrics and plug-in hybrids. They hope to see as many as 40,000 of these vehicles on the roads by then. As of last month, there were 16,256 public charging points across the United States. The New York State Energy Research and Development Authority says 3 of the charging stations will be at the RIT campus in Henrietta for use by students and staff. The state is paying a Canandaigua company to install them. And Frito-Lay will also get 20 EV charging stations, 10 around the Rochester area, 10 around the Albany area. The company is interested in switching to electric trucks for its local deliveries. The Rochester Area Community Foundation has released its 2nd annual Act Rochester Community Report Card, rating the Rochester region against the rest of New York State. It finds the 9-county region around Rochester is doing well in raising successful children, education, building its economy, healthcare, and housing. Rochester scores even or better than average in those categories. The report card finds problems region-wide with art, culture, and leisure activities, community engagement, financial self-sufficiency, and finally in public safety. We score worse than average by 10% or more in those areas. Some other trends picked up by the report. The Rochester area scores below state average on involvement in religion. We score higher than average in voter registration and actual voter participation. The RACF challenged the people attending yesterday's event to do at least one thing before the end of May that will help improve the community. Graphic testimony continued Thursday in Canandaigua, where a Genesee County man is on trial charged with more than 300 counts of sexual abuse. 42-year-old Michael Lewis is accused of regularly raping 2 sisters who were 12 and 14 at the time this abuse began. The younger of the sisters completed her testimony Thursday, saying that Lewis accused her of sleeping with boys at her school, then choked her. She broke down on the stand and had to leave the courtroom. On Wednesday, she documented from her diary 172 separate assaults, saying Lewis first forced her into having sex with him in the basement of her home just before she turned 13. The second alleged victim then told the court that Lewis began sexually abusing her in August of 2011. She tried to fight him off at first, but testified Thursday afternoon that she eventually surrendered to his advances because she couldn't stop him. The girl said Lewis threatened to kill her and her mother if she told what was happening. Lewis is charged with predatory sexual assault on a child, rape, and endangering the welfare of a child. He faces 4 life prison terms if convicted. The West Webster fire chief says the hearts of everyone in his department sank when they learned that 4 Georgia firefighters were taken hostage by a gunman. Chief Jim Diesenroth issued a statement on behalf of his department, which lost 2 members Christmas Eve when a gunman with a grudge opened fire on them. The gunman in the Georgia incident placed a fake medical emergency call, then took the responding firefighters hostage at gunpoint because he was angry his power had been turned off. He was eventually shot dead by a police SWAT team, and the firefighters were rescued. In the Webster incident, the gunman set fire to his house, then shot down the 4 firefighters who responded. 2 survived, 2 were killed on the spot, and a permanent memorial is to be placed in their honor on Lake Road on Monday. The West Webster chief said his firefighters remained focused on positive thoughts as they followed the incident in the news media and felt an immediate sense of relief after the outcome was reported. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says deputies have charged the interim vice president of academic affairs at Genesee Community College with public lewdness. The Sheriff's Office says 67-year-old Michael Stoll of Bergen was arrested March 29th after allegedly exposing himself to an undercover officer in a Monroe County park. GCC issued a statement saying it was not aware of the arrest until Thursday and has begun an investigation. And Wegmans has issued a product recall for 2 of its organic juices. Food You Feel Good About Organic Apple Juice, expiration date January 28, 2014, and Organic Cranberry Juice Blend, expiring November 5th. Wegmans says the products have been recalled because the supplier has warned them that tests found an unacceptable level of a mold byproduct called patulin in the bottles from those lots. The risk of illness is said to be remote, but Wegmans is asking customers to dump the juice and bring the empties in for refunds at the service desk. You can find more information on the Wegmans webpage. To the left of the player window are links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. If you've got links to great cell phone videos you've shot, give us a notice as well, and we'll put some of them on the news. So the next news is as it happens. The updates are as necessary. You can help us be the judge of that. And I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.